Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Professionals Unplugged. I'm your host Utkarsh Shukla. Let me introduce you to my guest Karyn. Karyn, thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here and to chat with you today.
Thanks Karyn. So let's begin with our very basic question. Can you please introduce our audience about yourself, like who you are, what work you do, what profession you are in, anything you want to talk about yourself?
Cool. Well, the first thing that I'm going to say is that I am just a regular person living here in the world who is working with everything I do to activate people and help people create a better, kinder world. And whether that's the world that they work in, the time that they spend in their community, the things that they do with their family, all of those are all together. And it all comes from my purpose, really, of helping activate people to just create a better, kinder world.
That's really awesome of you. So how you feel like we can help people, like because we need to be at different places in a whole day, right? In morning I need to be at office, while at night I need to be at home, and I can be at different moods, right? I don't know at what mood I'm going to office, while at the same time I don't know at what mood I'm going to come to my home, right? So any comment on the same?
Exactly. And the truth is, it's all tied together, right? Because we're actually only one person. We're a whole person and we have one life. And in that life, we do many, many things. And a lot of times, because part of my business is business, part of my life is business consulting. And people come to me and they say, I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure how to do it. And I direct them always back to, okay, well, what's your purpose? What are the things that give you joy? What are the things that you want to accomplish in life? Because you only have one life. So let's talk about kindness in that. So
Yeah,
when you go to work, right? All of us has a boss at work. All of us. Even if we're the CEO, there's probably a board, right?
yeah, correct.
Everyone has a boss. And the way that person treats us, kind or not, does two things. First of all, if it's unkind, it gives us fear.
Yeah,
Because think about it. If you don't want to do something or you're doing something at work, if you're afraid of what's going to happen, you're probably afraid because you're worried somebody's going to be unkind to you. Someone's going to shout at
correct.
you. Or your boss is you're going to be in a meeting and you're going to share your idea and your boss is going to go like this.
Yeah,
And that makes us afraid. And what happens when we're afraid? Well, we have fight, flight, or freeze. And that sets up a very unpleasant cycle at work, right?
correct.
So when you see people at work arguing with each other, there's probably some kind of fear and unkindness behind that. So after you spend your whole day at work, maybe your boss yelled at you, maybe your customers yelled at you. I worked in customer service for many years, so I often had people
Correct.
yell at me. Well, how do you feel when you go home? Not very good.
Correct.
And you go home and your partner says to you or your child says something in the same way your boss treated you,
Correct.
that's how you act because you learn that. You shout
Correct.
at them,
Correct.
right? And then what happens? Oh, you shout at your wife shouts at your child, the child
Right.
goes to
Different child.
school,
Yeah.
right? And is unkind and bullies the other children, and then they grow up
Correct.
and they become that same kind of leader. So it's all tied together, right?
Correct.
It's absolutely all tied together. So what we have to do as people, and this is why I always say activate, right? Activate just like a chemical reaction. We have to be the first one to start and encourage others to start to break that circle of unkindness.
Correct.
Because we usually think, well, what can I do about it? I'm just one person. I'm not the boss, right?
Right.
But actually, this is why I always say when you ask me, who am I? What do I do? I'm just a regular person, right? I'm just
Right.
just a regular person. I have a choice. I can say someone is being unkind to me. I can't change immediately their unkindness, but I can change my reaction.
Yes.
My boss can yell at me, and instead of going away and fuming and getting mad and going home and yelling at someone else, I can say to my boss, oh, I can see you're upset. Is there something maybe going on in your work or life that's upsetting? Maybe their boss yelled at them, right?
Correct.
Empathy, right?
Hmm.
Instead of thinking, oh no, what's happening to me? I could think, oh no, why is that person acting that way? How could I find to them and help them? And we can break that cycle. Every single person has that ability. Kindness is not a superpower.
Correct.
It is learned human behavior.
Correct. So do you think kindness, empathy are very correlated to patience as well? Because most of the times what we notice is people generally lose their patience, and at the same time they become anger and those things. So do you think they are directly proportional to each other?
I do. I absolutely do. And I also think they're tied to the fact that as human beings, this is just normal. We're very focused on ourselves. What do I want? What do I want to happen? What needs to happen? And a lot of times it's because we have that fear. If I don't get what I need to make the report, my report is going to be late, and then someone's going to shout at me. My boss is going to shout at me, right? So we want things to happen very easily for us because we have fear. We don't want an unkindness. So we can be very impatient. So what I always tell people, because it's very hard, but we can do it, to break the cycle of something happens that we don't like the way it's happening, and we think, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to me because of this? We can break the cycle then of being impatient or shouting if we take a moment, we start to feel our triggers. So I know that when I'm starting to get impatient, my shoulders are going like this, and my jaw is like, I know that about myself. So and Zoom is really good because actually on Zoom, I can see this, right?
Yeah.
Then I can see myself. Oh no, I'm getting impatient.
Correct.
And then I can, okay, self, take a deep breath. Calm yourself down. And stop thinking about me. Think about the other person. Because, you know, for the most part, and I know a lot of people in the world, most people are good people who actually want to get what they have to do. They don't want to make a problem for anybody else, right? And we get so self-centered that we start thinking, what is this person? Why is this person doing this? It's like the story that I tell on my TEDx talk. My husband, you know, we've been married 40 years, and that is a long time. And he is a kind, wonderful person. And I don't like, you know, when a coffee cup is left on the counter overnight. And normally he would never do that. And so unusually, he put the coffee cup, when I came down in the morning for breakfast, there was the coffee cup. But was I patient? No, because I was thinking about myself. I don't like this. Why would he do this? And then when I shouted at him when he came down, because unkind thoughts can lead to unkind words and actions, he said, oh, but the dog got sick in the night. And I cleaned up all of the dog things. I washed all of the towels. And then it was very late and I was tired, and I took the sick dog up to bed and I forgot the coffee cup. I'm sorry. Had I just stopped for a minute and stopped thinking about me and thought, oh, that's a little unusual. Why would he do that? We could have stopped the whole thing. When you feel your body, whatever it does, you got to get to know, what does your body do when you're going to be tense and unkind? Then take a few moments, take a deep breath, step away. You can call a timeout in a meeting. You can say, timeout. Everyone's getting too full. Let's take a break. It'll lead to more patience and kindness.
That's really awesome. Like, take a moment and think about what the other person is going through or what the other person has done before making any comments or before even getting angry on the person, right? So that's the best thing you can do. Like, have the empathy for the same, putting yourself on the other person's shoes and see what's going there as well, right?
Exactly. And I think that concept, kindness, the way I define kindness, is that an action or set of actions that are taken with the purpose of making something better for someone else. In order to do that, you have to have empathy and compassion. So empathy means we step out of our situation and put ourselves into someone else's shoes. But that's really hard to do. That is just really hard to do, because mostly we think the way we think is right, the way we live is right, who we are is right, and someone else is wrong. We may not agree with them, right? So we have to be able to say, oh, but this is how this person is feeling. Maybe I'm not afraid of flying in an airplane, but it doesn't matter. This person is, right? And then we have to have compassion. So once we can take ourselves out of ourselves and put ourselves in someone else's shoes, we feel their suffering. And then we think, oh, I don't want that person to suffer. Why would I want that person to suffer? Then we have to take an action to do something to help the person the way they want to be helped, which might not be the way we want to be helped, right? So I have a lovely daughter. She's 28 and she's a social worker. And I've learned many things from having children from a young age to now. And she lives in New York and I live here near Chicago. So oftentimes she would call me on FaceTime and just, be upset about something. And so in the beginning, I'm her mom. I would always give her advice.
Correct.
Of course, I'm a mom, right?
Yeah.
And then she would say to me, sometimes it would help, but a lot of times it would make her more upset.
Right.
So finally, I learned that when she calls, I should say, Serena, okay, I see you're upset. What would you like? What would help you? Right? Because kindness, do you want me to just listen? Do you want to just vent?
Yeah, right.
Just want me to listen and then you're going to hang up? Do you want me to make some suggestions and give you advice? And then you can decide. Or do you want me to just tell you what to do? And now that's the way I start every conversation. Instead of just deciding I should know what the person should want, I could just ask, how is it that I could help you? What is it that you want from me, right?
Right. I think that's the very important point that you have mentioned. Like, most of us, what we do is someone comes and tell us their problem. We start giving them solutions without asking them either they really want a solution or they want us to listen to them or whatever they want, right? So I think it's some kind of a human nature that we ourselves start giving them solution rather than listening to the full problem. Correct. So that's a very important point that you have mentioned. Irrespective of the situation, don't start giving advices. Try to listen to them what they want, right?
Exactly.
Rather than what you want.
Right. And that actually is that empathy piece. Right. To, again, stop thinking about yourself and think about the other person. So often we say, treat others the way we want to be treated, right? The golden rule, do unto others as you want done unto you. But actually, kindness is about the platinum rule. Do unto others as they want done unto them, right?
Right.
And to do that, you have to find out what actually they want.
They want.
Most of the time we don't know, right? Most of the
Right.
time. And the fact that we're giving advice or we're not listening, it's because most people, for us, for what we know, when we go to work, what does our boss say? Don't come with a problem, bring a solution.
Solution. Right.
So we just learned that we're trying to be kind
Yeah.
and help someone. It is coming from a good place, right? We're
Correct.
trying to solve their problem. But the simple fact is, we have to listen first to find out what is it that the person
Person
needs.
needs.
So
Hmm.
a little time, right? A little listening ear. I always say, listen with open eyes, open ears, open mind, and an open heart.
Yeah. That's really amazing.
Hard.
Yeah. So, what is your dream now? I think you have done a lot of things. You've been TED speaker. So, is there anything that you think is still that you want to accomplish, or any goal you?
It is, and actually, I want to just tell your listeners just a little tiny bit. First of all, I was I will say, work-at-home mom, because all moms who stay home taking care of children are working for very unreasonable bosses who cry and scream a lot, right?
Correct.
I was a at-home mom till I was 42. Okay. Then I went to work in the corporate world. I was a customer service person, and I worked my way up. I've published 7 books, and at 55, I started my own business. And I've been a keynote speaker all over the world. I've traveled all over the world. And people ask me, well, again, about your dream, like all the things you wanted to accomplish. At a point, I realized all the things I had dreamt of when I was younger. Yeah. I did that.
Right.
And then people said, but what are you going to do now? And the amazing thing that happened was that once you take the limits you put on yourself by your own imagination, amazing things happen. So I started noticing while I was traveling all the people who were unkind, right? So I was sitting on an airplane just behind first class, and a first class passenger, this is before COVID, a first class passenger didn't like that the flight attendant said that their luggage was too big and had to go under the plane, so they punched the flight attendant. It's terrible. Correct. I saw people shouting at customer service people, all kinds of things. And so I started thinking there's a problem. And when I see a problem, I think someone should do something about the problem, and the problem, someone is me. So I started, my Macintosh computer has started doing this.
Yeah, liking your talk.
Correct. So I made little buttons, and I started to leave them places with a little message that said, plant kindness, grow love. And then I started to give them to people who I saw who were being kind. That's awesome. And thank them.
It's like a small act of kindness, yeah.
Exactly. And then the amazing thing is people would say, can I have another button to give to someone else who's being kind?
Yeah.
Activate kindness, right? And so then I thought, okay. And that turned into a foundation. So now we're a global foundation called the Love and Kindness Project Foundation, activating people to do one more act of kindness today than they did yesterday. Just small, simple acts of kindness at work, at home, in the community. So my dream is that we're going to have a kinder, better world. We're going to have a world where people don't have to worry about living in safety. They don't have to worry that when they send their children to school, something bad is going to happen to them. They don't have to worry that when they go to work, someone's going to shout at them at work. So this is my dream. And I know I cannot accomplish the dream on my own. But actually, the way to accomplish any dream is to start.
Yes, right.
And to ask others to help you, right? That's it. And if every single day, if every person here in the world, 8 billion of us, did one act of kindness, wouldn't it be an amazing world? So that is my dream. That is my dream. And I'm going to say, I cannot thank you enough for inviting me today to come and speak with you, because you are helping me to make my dream turn into a reality. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate this. And I think you are having the God's dream right now. I think God also wants everyone to be kind to each other and create this world a better place. I think that's the best place to end this interview, to be kind and to be generous to other people. So thank you so much, Karyn, for joining in. Thank you so much for your time.
You are very welcome. And thank you for starting this. And I'm just super excited to see where your dream is going to take you.
Thank you so much. Bye.